You now, Dave.
Yes, we are live.
So the mics are hot. You guys, just so you know, the mics are hot. So keep it clean.
They're live. Yeah. He said they're hot.
So that's what we need to add to the agenda. It's looking for approval to pay. Did you send
You want me to talk about the single point of entry quick? You want me to talk about the single point of entry and
I
Shannon
think,
Avenue?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, where we're at on it.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks, son. Thanks for being a good sport. Thank you.
Chelsea, we haven't worn out the copier yet, have we?
Not yet.
Was there anyone else from Houghton County down there for that BSNH meeting?
I believe Lisa went to it.
Good. That's what I was hoping would be. It's been an interesting day. Probably appreciate those days when I'm not here. I do. Nothing personal.
No.
Good evening, welcome. This is a June meeting for the Board of Commissioners for Houghton County. Join us at the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jeremy.
Here.
Aaron.
Present.
Mr. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Johnson here, Commissioner Brooks.
Here. Thank you. We're all here. Next on the agenda, does everyone have an agenda? If you want to have an agenda, they're available over at the side chair there. Next is the approval of the minutes. We're finally have figured out the February 10th regular meeting minutes and also the May 11th work session minutes. We can take those all as one motion when you're ready.
Make the motion to approve the February 10th regular meeting minutes and the May 11th work session minutes.
I'll support.
Motion has been made by Commissioner Britz, supported by Commissioner Jensen to approve the minutes from February 10th and also work session minutes from May 11th. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. Next is the agenda. Are there items that you wish to have added or tabled?
Make a motion that we table number 3 and number 4. Number 3, because we haven't had a chance to review all the responses. And then number 4, Gail had asked that the opioid task force authorization be delayed till the July meeting because she cannot attend tonight. And then I would, in addition, add the consider Michigan Township Association dues of $750 annually and consideration of purchasing a truck for the transfer station. So those are the two.
With those-
two additions.
But those last two items would be under new business?
Yes, correct.
All right. So item 8 under new business is the annual dues for the Michigan Town MTA dues. Item 9 under new business is the new truck for the transfer station. Other items for consideration on the agenda? Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll support.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen to approve the revised agenda. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Next is item F, public. We need a motion to open the public hearing for the truth in taxation.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Karanen, supported by Commissioner Anderson to open the hearing for truth in taxation. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The hearing is now open. Our equalization director, Jacob Jerf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Annually, the Equalization Department is tasked with calculating millage reduction fractions for all local units of government, school districts, intermediate school districts, and other public levying authorities. There are 3 reduction fractions that we calculate. 1 is the Headley millage reduction fractions. 2 is truth in assessing, truth in equalization fractions. 3 is truth in taxation rollback fractions, which are the subject of tonight's hearing. I wanted to start with this clarification because I understand that these terms of hearing can be somewhat confusing, especially with all the advertisements for this hearing and worded by statute. In essence, the 1978 Headley Amendment and 1993 Proposal A accomplished few things to protect taxpayers, specifically requiring voter approval for any local tax increases or taxes post-Headley. 2, limiting property tax revenue resulting from property tax assessments increasing. And 3, limiting revenue collected to the amount the village was originally to generate, accounting for inflation. To be clear, this action tonight is not a Headley override. Headley overrides are valid proposals where the voters can authorize overriding the annual millage reduction fractions, resetting the millage rate back to its original voted amount. And this is not an increase in the traditional sense. Millage rate is still reduced from last year's rate by the annual millage reduction fractions. This hearing is regarding a third temporary reduction by the truth in taxation base tax rate fraction. On the handout that I have for you all and on the railing, you see the three kind of levels. The first one again is the millage reduction at all units. The second level is in the case of equalization factors. And the third is the subject of tonight's hearing, the so-called base tax rate fraction. According to the Headley Amendment, any increase in the total value of existing taxable property in the local unit must be offset by a corresponding decrease in the tax rate actually levied, so that the yield does not increase from one year to the next. Essentially limiting local government revenue to the base tax rate established by the prior year's levy. To capture dollars against any growth in taxable value beyond the rate of inflation, levying authorities must comply with the truth in taxation provision. Levying authorities can comply a few ways with truth in taxation. Most incorporate hearing into their annual budget meetings, therefore complying with Section 16 of the Uniform Budgeting and Accounting Act. Fulton County traditionally holds this truth in taxation hearing annually in June before establishing the operating millage rate for the summer tax levy. For the 2026 levy, the proposed millage rate is 6.1670 mils after last year's millage rate of 6.2464 is reduced by the current millage reduction fraction of 0.9873. The base tax rate fraction for 2026 is 0.9614, and that's against the taxable value of $1,402,456,823. The base tax rate after application of the base tax rate fraction is 6.0053. After adjusting the base tax rate by the estimated conventions facilities tax revenue of $189,800, the resulting adjusted base tax rate is 6.0051. The difference between the maximum allowable rate of 6.1670 and the adjusted base tax rate of 6.0051 is 0.1619 mils. If approved, that's a 2.7% increase in operating revenue beyond last year's base rate, or approximately $227,000 beyond the base rate established with last year's levy. So while approval would lead to an increase in the amount of dollars received, there is not a true increase in the millage rate like with the Headley override. This is preventing a further reduction by the base tax rate fraction, permitting revenue to the base tax established in 2025. Are there any questions at this time?
Yes. So in the ad, if we approve it tonight, increasing the millage by 0.1619, our revenue would increase by 2.7%.
Yes.
If we didn't do that, it would increase by 2.63%.
Yes. So the way to think of those two fractions is
that's accurate.
yes, the 2.63% is the difference between the so-called base rate established last year and what we would get with the 6.0051. So that rate would net us 2.63% more than we had last year. Then the 2.7 is in addition to that. So bottom line, the amount that's going to be levied is going up from last year just by virtue of the inflation rate multiplier for 2026, and then also any of like the constructions, that type of thing. Whereas this is subject specifically to like the increase in difference between the adjusted base tax rate versus the maximum allowable rate.
And then historically, the last several years, we've approved, and the county board has by tradition approved the increase in taxation of these meetings.
Yes.
Several years, longer than that.
Longer than that. Going back is probably even beyond my predecessor.
And then how much is if we approve it, how much more tax dollars? You say 200 and some thousand?
227,057.
Thank you.
I believe that's in the resolution.
Yeah.
I guess another point for clarification, just to emphasize, this does not raise the property taxes for our property owners.
No, this is just preventing a further temporary reduction.
Yeah.
Whereas the millage reduction fraction is carried forward from year to year and that reduction is permanent.
Yeah.
This is a temporary 1-year offset.
Yeah, and it allows the county to access these funds for operating
Yep,
expenses.
the additional.
Other questions for our equalization director? Is there a motion to close the hearing?
For opportunities for the public.
I would think so. Yes, please.
My name is Kate Morrison. I'm from Hancock. So my understanding of the intention of the Headley Law in our Michigan Constitution is that it automatically reduces the millage rates in order to enter a step of accountability to the public officials who decide who decide how the money in the county is spent. And so the automatic rollback, as was expressed by the equalization director, can be reset in at least these 2 ways: the truth and taxation temporarily, and then can be rollback, which this is not. But it is nevertheless a vote of the board to choose to undo that automatic Headley amendment, which thereby allows the county to have a larger revenue. I would just like the board to let us, please share with us why you have decided that you need more revenue and what kinds of activities are going to be supported by the increased revenues that's represented by undoing the temporary rollback.
You're asking for a response right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, item 1 is we're continuing to push forward on all fronts with new jail, which the county needs solely. The voters have said that they don't care to have as high a millage request as what we've requested in the past. It behooves the county to, in their upcoming budget, to apply more funds on an annual basis towards the construction of the jail. This is not going to eliminate the need for finding, all of the funds, but it does give us more of an opportunity to increase the county's contribution towards construction of the jail. On a general basis, with the inflation that we're experiencing for operations, increased operating costs are going up by a certain percentage higher than what we're asking for here, with this motion or resolution that will likely be adopted.
I would just maybe answer the Peterbilt that was unplanned to potentially buy the transfer station is 193,000. We got plenty of, 1.5 sheriff's deputies, would be that amount. I mean, you go down the list, of course, but. And health insurance is probably going to increase, more than that in the aggregate, above what we budgeted even, I guess. So, and there's plenty of ways it can be properly spent.
In fact, it's the purpose of my question to put all those things on the record. The needs within the county that convince the board that additional funds are justified. I'd like to point out, because I was asked this question by a number of neighbors, even though both actions, passing this temporary rollback or not passing it, changes the millage is going to change regardless, and that is the inflation adjustment. So every year it's the inflation adjustment that's automatic, and the rollback is your choice. The other is separate. Thank you.
Is there a motion to close the hearing? Motion made by Commissioner Keranen, supported by Commissioner Jensen to close the hearing. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And thank you, Director. We are moving on then to agenda items for public comments. Public comments relegated to the agenda items. Do we have public comments?
You have a public comment online. Someone tossed their hand up already.
All right, put the person online on Teams meeting or Zoom.
Janine, all you?
Yay. My name is Janine Stevenson. I live in the city of Houghton. First of all, thank you for all your years of service for many of our commissioners. And the hours that you have kept coming at 6 o'clock, I'm commenting on that. It really works for me. I've come to many meetings where there's been issues that are really important to people, and they've come right from work. And I applaud everything that this commission has done, including making it available for people to comment on Zoom. And I think keeping the 6 o'clock time really does offer more citizens an opportunity to participate. And there have been times, many times when I've been at meetings where lots of people participate. So thank you, and I encourage you to keep this time.
Thank you. Other public comments?
My name is Heather Mraz, and I'm a resident of Houghton County District 5. I'm speaking about the agenda item listed as Board of Commissioners meeting time discussion, specifically the possibility of moving regular meetings from 6 p.m. to daytime hours. I'm asking you to keep regular meetings at 6 p.m. I'm a public school employee. I get 4 personal days per year. I also get sick days, which are for when I'm actually sick, have a medical appointment, or need a medical procedure. My personal days cover everything else. An appliance delivery, taking a vacation that doesn't fall during a school break, going to Marquette to see my niece play after school sports, or taking my dog to the vet. 4 days. This year, I attended 2 Board of Commissioners work sessions. Because those work sessions are held during the workday, I had to use 2 half days of leave. That is 1 full personal day, one of my 4. When you discuss this agenda item tonight, I very much hope meaningful access is the lens used. For residents with daytime jobs, the 6 p.m. regular meeting is a part of the board's schedule that allows many working residents to participate in county government and engage directly with this board. Moving the regular meeting to daytime hours would put both board meeting types behind the same workday barrier. For many working residents, access would move from partial to near total. When access depends on daytime schedule control, it creates a socioeconomic barrier. People whose jobs allow them to step away during business hours would have easier access. People whose workday is tied to a classroom, a postal route, a delivery route, a construction site, utility schedule, a clinic schedule, or patient care would have a much harder time participating. County government should not be easiest to access for people with the most flexibility and hardest to access for people with the least. This board schedule should reflect the residents it serves. Please keep the regular meetings at 6 p.m. Please keep at least one of the 2 board meeting types accessible to working residents. Thank you.
Good evening, Houghton County Board of Commissioners. My name is Lexi Taylor. I am a Hancock resident, and I'm a meeting organizer in the area as of March. I work for a nonprofit called Hancock Advocacy. I'm here today to express my concern with the changing Board of Commissioners meeting times. I personally work a job that is mostly confined to the irregular 9-to-5 work schedule, as do my friends, as do my colleagues, and as do my rest of my community. It's been a busy time with summer in the QAnon, which may be why you've been noticing less community participation at your meetings. This is not a reason for changing meeting times. It is not accessible to move your meetings to a time that does not accommodate your constituents. I wanted to offer working together and see if we can get more people at your meetings. I'd be willing to meet with you to discuss better engagement. I have a great track record of mobilizing people. Like I said, let me know between the hours of 9 to 5 when I'll be working. If you'd like to discuss this further, and I will stay after the meeting and give you all my email. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, Hogan County Board of Commissioners. As you know, my name is Rich Cannabis. I'm a resident and native of Hogan County. I would like to respond tonight as well to tonight's agenda item number 8, section J, unfinished business, of the Board of Commissioners meeting time. Context for everyone in this room. This discussion is on the agenda due to perceived lack of attendance at these very meetings, and a desire to lessen the labor for those involved. I'd like to respond to these concerns. First, I do want to acknowledge that this meeting time does involve work. And when it's nice outside, we all would like to be outside, spending rainy time as campus fishing. Even if someone doesn't walk in nearly 4 months, I get it. What we hear from all of you do put into this, the employees of the county, you deserve our respect. But I would like to remind everyone in this room the very reason why your positions deserve gratitude in the first place. You are the servants of the people. That's your calling. It is your solemn duty to uphold that calling. And the people to which you are beholden are not just those who have the privilege to attend a meeting in the middle of the workday. We're teachers, we're contractors, we're shopkeepers, scientists. We bag your groceries, we watch our kids, we build, maintain, and operate the fabric that keeps our community going. And we are your voting constituents, the working people of Hogan County. Now, I understand and acknowledge that these meetings are not always well attended, and I can empathize with concerns. But the value of these meetings is not just in being well attended day in, day out. Instead, their value comes from always being accessible, well attended or not. As Mr. Karen can attest to, there are moments when the community must speak up. And in those moments, however irregular they may be, these meetings have to be accessible. It's because it is your solemn duty to remove as many barriers as you can, to the fullest extent that you can, that will hold people back from being active in our democracy. For the people of our community, your voting constituents, this is how we make sure our voices are heard. When you need to hear them. And that right goes beyond convenience and happiness. So I ask you to please maintain this meeting time. Working people of our county deserve the opportunity to speak up on the time of crisis. Thanks for your time.
Hello, my name is Ashley Bergeron, and I'm a Houghton County resident. I'm in District 2. I didn't really plan what I was going to say tonight because I really don't think it's that difficult. I was a public servant for 12 years. I worked in public libraries. I worked every Saturday. I worked 2 night shifts a week. I worked on until 9 p.m. And I didn't complain about it because I knew it was part of being a public servant. And I did that for 12 years. We traded off weekends, we took time off. This is part of a functional system, is that we all make sacrifices to make sure that everything in our county, in our city, in our townships works. And I appreciate all of that, especially because I don't always come to these meetings. Mostly for me, that is a symbol of my trust that your work is keeping our roads plowed and taken care of. As we all know, this has been a heck of a winter. So I really respect everything that the Board of Commissioners does to make sure that our county functions. But moving the meeting time to 10 a.m., in short, it disenfranchises people. It makes it more difficult. I can't really add at any length to the great words that have already been said by your other constituents. But I only hope that you really consider that as public servants, you need to be accessible to the people, and moving your meeting times to 10 a.m. is going to make that much worse. You're not going to hear from people. And, you know, maybe that's what some people want, but I don't think it's a good way of running our county by disenfranchising people who work regular hours and aren't able to attend meetings at 10 a.m. I know I wouldn't be able to. I know my husband wouldn't be able to. I know many people around here that would not be able to come to a 10 a.m. meeting. And we all don't get like unlimited time off to come to see you guys. So thank you so much for all that you do, but please reconsider on this one. Thank you very much.
Hi.
I'm Emma Shed. I live in Lorient, Michigan, so I'm also a Houghton County resident, and I'm also commenting on the issue. I actually left the work meeting early to be here because this was that important to me. I don't come to meetings normally because, to be fair, a lot of what you guys do is very important work, but often not highly controversial. However, I do look at the meeting agendas, and if there is something that I do care about, I do try to hear. Democracy starts at this local level, so if you guys prevent the public from coming to your meetings, it is essentially a negation of our local democracy. We really appreciate having the opportunity to speak at these meetings, regardless of whether we come to all of the meetings. Just having the ability shows us that we are living in a functioning democracy at our local level, and that you all care about what we think. And so hopefully you'll kind of care about what we think today, and I hope to see you all more at future meetings. And thank you for your service.
Hi, Alan Salmi, resident of Hancock, born in Hancock. For the old timers, son of Wendy, others, brother of Kathy Salmi, who a lot of people do. Two things. I see that hopefully it's merely a formality that the sale of Canal View is on the agenda. I thought that was a dead issue. It should be. The elderly need those kinds of services. I spent years as a mental social worker, and safe place for people to go when they're ill is really important. Secondly, most of the points about the 10 a.m. meetings have been made already. But, you know, John Dewey said that democracy isn't just a form of government, it's a way of associated living. And as has been pointed out, this is the level that most people can participate at. I'm not about to drag my butt down to Washington, but I can be here to talk about local issues. And you've seen that happen quite a bit, most notably just a few months ago, where people care about things. I'm not much of a morning person. My housemate can tell you that. Matter of fact, the last job I had, it started at 11 a.m. Before I became ill. But these evening times are accessible to everybody. And it's good to be able to have that access to the people that are running things on a local level. This is the area, the level that people trust because we can see you and talk to you guys, okay? And that's really important. So please consider keeping the time where it is. And don't sell Canal View.
Del Marco, also resident of Hancock. I'm also talking about the issue about changing the time for the meeting. And I think that this is an interesting time for the proposal that you're making, being the 250th anniversary of our country. And our country depends on participation of the people, for the people, by the people. And if the people don't have access to you or the meetings or the goings on in our county, then that's not democracy, that's something else. And there are a lot of people who have children who work. I've talked to some of the business owners, some of which are here today. I've made sure to spread the word because our democracy needs to be accessible. And if you change the time to 10 a.m., well, we don't all show up for all the issues like people have said. And like Rich said, accessibility is key. If we don't have access to our democracy, it's not democracy. I hope you reconsider and make the right choice for the people, for all of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joan Chatty. I live in Schoolcraft Township, and there's been a lot of great comments already made. I agree with the need to keep the meeting at 6 p.m. I just want to add the additional comment of travel time. Like, we have a super large county, so we can't be asking people to travel for an hour or more to get to a 10 o'clock meeting. And I was here for that last meeting that went from 6 to midnight. So now can you imagine an entire day? How does a working person who has to keep regular hours, they can't get to that. It only leaves it for certain types of employment that could actually get to a daytime meeting. So please, I again support the idea that we need to make it accessible, that people can attend these meetings. I also want to speak in support of number 5 on the agenda. That's the proposal for transfer station improvements. I just want to add my own personal experience. I recycle only, I mean, literally it's like 3 hours a day. They might tell you it's open 9 to 5. I got there at 11:30 a.m. and it was full. I had to keep all that stuff in my car, drive all the way back to Lake Linden, wait a week, and then come back. So there's not even capacity at 9, I mean, it's not 9 to 30, it's just not functional. There's a real demand and we should be making it available to people. So thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm sure as many of you know, I'm Kyle Selmser. As the public may be unaware, I work in the capacity as the finance manager here in Oakland County. Tonight, I would just like to briefly speak only in my capacity as a member of the public, as I'm very blessed to have been able to return to Oakland County. I'm commenting on item J, unfinished business. Number 4, the opioid task force authorization. Again, being blessed to be in the position of finance manager for the county, I have intimate firsthand knowledge of how these funds can be used and how other counties have set up their processes and the experts that they have sought out. In short, I would just like to strongly encourage the county to seek out professionals with a large and varying degree of expertise, as well as a history of experience in these areas. One of the counties that I had the pleasure of speaking with, who has already established their task force and has done wonderfully well, made a very specific point to not only have doctors and correctional officers on their staff, but also counselors, therapists, and various other members of the community who are not only prominent in their roles, but also incredibly intelligent and highly qualified to be advising in the position that they were in. I would also like to strongly emphasize that because of the nature of these funds and the continuing pervasiveness of this issue, not only in our community, but in our country, that truthfully, the only way that we as a nation will overcome this is to not take our own check and work by our own designs, but to reach out to other communities and potentially work with them as well, to try and join forces where we can, to stretch those dollars even further. It's unclear at this time because of the evolving nature of what the fund uses can be for, and folks establishing things and issues on the folks that are providing the fund side. However, that, in my opinion, does
30
present.
seconds.
Yes, I have you, thank you. That does present the unique opportunity for us to trailblaze the way, to set the path forward, and to be an example for all of the counties in the UP that we can not only resolve these issues with the funds that we have, but work together to help other counties as well. Thank you.
My name is Ruth Glucker. I live in Glen Pines, and I may have misunderstood item number 1, the sale of property around Canal View, and I just wanted to make sure that there's no part of that sale that is part of the old St. Joseph or Protestant cemetery. There's still a few remnants of headstones left there. And I just wanted to make sure that that's been looked at and if there's anything there.
Teresa Karen, thank you for your service. Commissioners, wanted to say it was linked to the time change. From everyone else, I agree with them. And I just wanted to mention that was the reason why Dan Holcomb had brought forth the resolution in regards to the time change, only because of the work schedules for, and everyone's lives who are here to serve for the public, for we the people. And I'm hoping that you will reconsider and keep the time the same in regards to the resolution that was made by Dan Holcomb. Thank you.
Elizabeth Whalen, I live in Calumet, Michigan. I would also like to request that you leave the time the same. I'm lucky I'm retired, but I do work part-time. And if you change the time, there are gonna be times when I can't be here. And I'm wondering if you're thinking that the only time people show up is to complain. I'm sure it feels that way, but change the time and you may not even get that. And you'll be working in a vacuum. And that makes it very difficult for you to do a truly effective job. I'm not nearly as articulate as everybody else. I've been up since 6 a.m., so that doesn't help. And I'm gonna leave as soon as I finish speaking. It's no reflection upon the rest of your agenda. I wish I could stay, but I can't. I appreciate the fact that you have Zoom, and I appreciate the fact that you try to keep these meetings as open to everyone as you can. And on behalf of those people who said, change it, I can't be here, please leave it alone. Thank you.
Are there other public comments? Are there other public comments? We'll move on. We have item H, which is the approval of this month's bills totaling $4,221,769.45. Do we have a recommendation from the Finance Committee?
So move this amount of $4,221,769.45.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Keranen, supported by Commissioner Anderson, to approve the bills for $4,221,769.45. Is there further discussion?
Just a note, and we do this annually, but the treasurer does buy the delinquent property tax rolls in the Houghton County meeting. They pay off. They buy any delinquent taxes that any jurisdiction in Houghton County issues, so that they get full cash flow, and then the county collects the taxes thereafter. So you see there's like 600,000 in this tranche of bills that went out to buy delinquent taxes. I think last month we had a couple $1 million. So just
Very good. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
yes.
Chairman Tickenish?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item I, reports. Start with our commissioners. Commissioner Keranen.
Everything I have is on the agenda, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Very good. Commissioner Jensen.
I had a busy month, but I'm just going to mention the Peninsula Association of Counties Commissioners Spring Conference that I went to in May. Thank you for allowing me to go. And a couple of important things we talked about were preparing for AI. We talked about the data center landscape in rural Michigan, which I don't think is an impending, I don't think it's going to come soon. I think it's going to come eventually. We need to be prepared, as I mentioned last time. So just to keep that on your radar. And we got some DNR updates with reducing muzzle loading from 10 to 3 days. And then the deer regulations, there were new regulations passed in May, so you might want to check the DNR website for that sort of thing. But it was a great conference overall, and I appreciate the opportunity.
You're good. Thank you. Commissioner Anderson.
I'm good.
Very good. Commissioner Briggs.
Nothing to report, sir.
Very good. Well, moving along. Everything I have to report is covered under the agenda. So we'll move on to department heads, starting with our county clerk.
I have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. Building department.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, fellow chairman. To report within the building department, our building inspector that we hired, Joe Watson, state exam. He was not licensed by the state. He is scheduled to take a plan review exam by the state on June 24th. One of some numbers within the building department. I'll start with the number of addresses created so far this year. There's 36 new addresses that were created. And
the sheet that I handed out in the building department numbers are from as of 2026 current, we've issued 152 building permits. That's 19 more than last year at this time. Electrical permits, we've issued 195, that's 6 more than last year at this time. And mechanical permits is 149, which is 2 less than last year at this time. And then plumbing permits was 89, which is 1 less than last year at this time. The number of plan reviews from 2025 to 2026 is we're 2025 we're at 46, and this year at this time we're at 60. So that's 14 more plan reviews. That's kind of a number that's significant because it's about larger commercial projects. So in the building department, single point of entry. Design is all complete, and there's a mandatory walkthrough on the 22nd of Monday the 22nd at 3 p.m. is a mandatory walkthrough for the project, and the bid opening is July 2nd at 3 p.m. at UPA. Sharon Avenue office renovation sits with the schematic design was completed, and we're into the full-blown structural drawings, and we've after we got the schematic designs, we took each department, the building department, reconfigured what they had drawn, and we're also working with administrative to reconfigure what was on there before it goes into full design that fits the needs of each department. So that's and Chad Hammerstrom is working with mechanical engineer on the heating ventilation portion of that building. That's all I have.
Thank you. What other department heads do we have here? The airport.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Casey Logan from the airport. Just a few quick things. Number one to note is we had a FAA inspection started on May 20th and completed on May 27th. Started out with document review. Actually, a couple of thousand pages were uploaded of inspections, compliance letters, and all kinds of things. And then he did a physical inspection on the 27th, daytime, nighttime inspection, and airport did very, very well. I'm very proud of everybody up there. Hopefully, thank all the workers. We had one thing we got hit on. It was very small, but it was we had incorrect markings on a fuel pipe. It was missing paint over it. That will be fixed. Pretty impressive. I'm very proud of everybody. I should have other inspections before similar to this and nothing came close. The third flight for United starts on June 25th. It will land around 6:55, take off around 7:45. Get one canceled flight in May, and the trend for passengers, both inbound and outbound, continues for this year. It's very, very high, slightly below last year, but last year was extreme. But numbers are very, very good. They're just following the trend this year. If you look back, it's still way more, quite a bit more than if you look past 10 years and beyond. It's just not quite as high as last year.
Thank you, and congratulations on the FAA inspection. Other department heads here? We've already heard from equalization, so IT.
Yeah.
Anything?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, Commissioners. It's Since last month, we've had a couple of odd little outages online. One of the looking at the program down temporarily, about 6 of that is back right now. Just a couple of odd outages here and there as we're in kind of an interesting space nationally with cybersecurity and infrastructure. It seems to be a pretty good time to consider any kind of more robust services if there ever was one. But largely, county's been pretty quiet. It's like, you know, had a couple of days off, we had good coverage, there's no major outages between here and there, and a couple of cool plans in the works, but nothing much more to report.
Thank you. Anything from you?
Nothing to do.
All right. I guess we'll move on. Item J for unfinished business, number 1 is resolution 26-10 approving the sale of property. This is a Canal View split application. Just for clarification, we're not selling Canal View, but there's a small piece of property that is not utilized by Canal View that can be better utilized by Moyle Development with your project. Do you want to speak to that, Ben Larson from Moyle Development?
If you go behind Medcare, you'll see a little triangle field full of weeds and then a cliff down to Navy Street. That's what we're buying. So nothing to do with the canal, but just it's land that the county had bought when Finlandia dissolved. And then Adam now has his nurses parking in the back there, so he's going to keep that. We're just keep our parking now. Then there's a row of trees and there's a little field of weeds that we're buying that to potentially turn it into a parking lot for the new Skyline Commons development. So if you haven't been over to the old hospital in a while, it's really beautiful. If we get a chance to go see it, yes. If you drive in behind there, there's a little triangle of weeds. That's what we're buying in the cliffs. That's all. Nothing to follow me.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Commissioner Jensen, you've been facilitating this effort. Do you have anything to add to this?
Just that we were waiting for the Hancock assessor to approve the split, and according to Mr. Larson, that has been done. So I think we're ready to move forward with this.
Very good. What is your wish?
I'll make a motion that we approve the sale of the property.
Motion made by Commissioner Jensen, supported by Commissioner Karanen to adopt resolution 26-10. Is there further discussion?
I'd just like to comment, 1, it's for 50,000, and then 2, I just applaud Canal View's board. I know they've spent a couple of years working on this, but I appreciate on behalf of the community and on behalf of the county, as Ben mentioned, with that $10.25 million renovations and 29 new apartments, and obviously some additional businesses being located in that building once it's completed. We're going to need a lot of parking. And this is a great redevelopment for Houghton County. It's a great redevelopment for Finlandia University, which of course no longer exists, and it's a great redevelopment for the city of Hancock. So I just applaud Canal View's board for the foresight to cooperate with this. And I think it's a win-win-win, maybe win again for the whole community. So I applaud that.
I fully agree with that comment. I just on the warranty deed, the proposed deed here, it shows from the county of Houghton to Hancock Storage LLC. That's a subsidiary of, okay, just wanted that for public certification in the event that people are reviewing this.
And it's 0.94 acres as well. So.
Yeah, it's a tiny portion, but it will be heavily utilized. Other comments? Motion is on the, and so we'll call for a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Chairman Hickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2 is the enhanced public access policy. It's from equalization.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you all recall, at last month's regular Board of Commissioners meeting, we discussed the county's intent to go down this policy. Before you tonight is the proposed policy that Paige and I worked on. Well, we were unable to find the original policy that the county likely passed. We believe this represents the longstanding policy and procedure of the county. We're asking for adoption and reaffirmation of this longstanding county policy.
Need a resolution number. Any questions for our equalization director? What is your wish?
Is there a resolution number you said?
26-13.
And I'll make a motion, we approve, resolution number 26-13 on the enhanced access to public records policy.
I'll support.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen to adopt resolution 2613, which is the Houghton County Enhanced Access to Public Records Policy. Further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Chairman Tickner?
Yes.
Commissioner Garrett?
Yes.
Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, Jacob. Moving on, jumping to item 5, we have Brendan Presnell from Whooperter with a proposal for the transfer station improvements. You here? No one's here? They're not here?
Don't see Brendan online either.
Then we'll move on. Next is item 6, Karen Karanen, retirement buyout request. You have that in your packets. You want to educate us on that, Chelsea?
Karen works in district court and she has made a request to buy up to 3.5 years of retirement. She may not buy the 3.5 years, that's just the maximum amount. She said it may be 2 years. In your packets, you have documentation reserves. This would be an employee contribution to buy this out, not an employer contribution, but it does require a resolution to be passed by the Houghton County Board of Commissioners to authorize Karen to make this buyout.
What's your recommendation?
I do not have a recommendation for the board on this matter.
Chelsea, do you know, and I asked Paige, did you go back and see how many of these we've approved in the last 20
We're
years?
still waiting for MERS to get back.
I know
to
we've
us.
done a few, I don't know. There's been a few, I believe. And then, of course, this is fairly routine, you know, the MERS takes the actuarial report and adds the cost to the county. In this case, for the full 3.5 years, it's $34,836. If she was to buy the entire 3.5 years at her expense, and that rate is good until September 1. And she talked to her before the meeting, and she said she, like Chelsea said, may not want to buy all 3.5 years, but that's what she asked for. And then, of course, if she doesn't buy it as of September 1, then there will have to be another actuarial study done. And how much, do you know what this one costs? There was a fee, but you know how much it is? I mean, it's $300-400, I think, is the fee every time one is done, but
We weren't given $1.
I don't know if that's changed or not. But I guess I'm willing to make a motion that we authorize up to 3.5 years of retirement credit to Michigan Employer Retirement System for Karen J. Carnan on or before September 1, 2026, and then if she decides to buy less, she decides to buy more.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Karanen to approve buyout to a maximum of 3.5 years. With the option that she can actually reduce that based on her own prerogative. Further discussion?
I just want to mention that she did get a letter of support from Judge Lott, saying that her time with the county has been exemplary and supports her in being able to buy out.
That's right. Duly noted. Further comments? Further discussion? We'll do a roll call on that.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Chairman Hickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ritchie?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. And moving on to item 7, Easton Lightela Contracted Services. What do you got for us?
Houston has been contracted by the admin office to do financial contracted services as of December of 25. He has then helped us work our way through some opioid funding as well as ARPA and some other miscellaneous reports and projects. It is my intention that we end contract with Houston as of June 30th, 2026. We now have a finance manager and a deputy, which have been training to take over those tasks that we assign to our contractors.
So what do you reckon, how much, when's the termination date and how much then?
June 30th of 2026, his contracted fees is $1,000 per week, but he doesn't work every single week, so it's up to $4,000 per month.
So I'll make that motion that we extend the Easton Lila's contract till June 30th at up to $1,000 per week for accounting services.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Keranen. Is there further discussion? Let's do a roll call on that, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Chairman Hickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Ritchie?
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on then to item 8, Board of Commissioners meeting time discussion. What's your wish?
My wish is to keep it at 6.
I guess I just present the facts. I mean, our meetings haven't been well attended at 6. This one has, and most people that spoke tonight haven't had our meetings. We were meeting at 4. I don't think we ever consider meetings at 10. I mean, that was mentioned, but I don't think we ever.
I wonder if they're confused by our work sessions, you know.
Yeah, so we have, if I think we talked at 3 or 4 for the work session that we had, if we move the time, we move then, because that's when we were meeting at 4 o'clock previously, we moved them to 6. Duly noted, Dan Holcomb, for the Holcomb County Republicans, you know, he brought that resolution forward. Dan's here tonight, which whatever, I think we had better attendance when we were at 4 o'clock. We had more attendance from our county employees, county heads. And it was mentioned, see and talk to their commissioners. I mean, we all are available to see and talk to anybody, anytime with Zoom or whatever we're on here. I mean, it's available. I feel like it's mentioned for the county clerk and people. The facts are the facts. I feel our meetings at 4 o'clock were better attended. That's just my 2 cents. So with that, I would make a motion that we change our meetings from 6 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the second Tuesday of each month.
The only comment, the comments I want to make.
Well, is there support for that first?
Okay.
Is there support for moving for Joel, Commissioner Karen is in the interest of carrying on the discussion?
I'll make his motion, although I don't support it, but I'll make that motion so we can discuss it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Keranen, supported by Commissioner Anderson, to move the meeting times to 4 p.m. Discussion.
The issue I have is the summertime. I received several emails about the change, plus all the comments tonight. I appreciate. I also look at the winter time when our clerk has to travel so far, many of the residents have to travel so far. Is it possible to move the 6 months of the meetings to 4 o'clock, keep the summer at 6 o'clock? That way, you know, help with the travel time in the winter time. Although even at 4 o'clock, you're still driving home in dark, but maybe that would help something. I think we have to keep at least the summer hours at 6 o'clock in my opinion.
And just my comment would be either 5 or 5:30 is my preference, but at 6 o'clock is fine, 4 o'clock is fine when we had them. But I think just given the darkness in the winter and being on the roads in the winter a little bit earlier would be better, I think, for the public. But again, those who work, up until 5, and again, as I mentioned, it's a big county. So getting here, if they work till 5 is a challenge. But my personal preference would either be 5 or 5:30 year round. And I don't think it makes, I don't think changing two times a year makes sense necessarily either, but there's a reason for it with the winter. If you factor that in, which we all have to. But I can sort of live with 6 as well. So I would certainly vote no on the motion, but worthy of a discussion.
All right, further comments?
It's more convenient to meet earlier, and I understand the, the longevity of our county employees' days on these meetings. And our clerk who is so far to go home. But I have not heard any input from any constituent. I've gotten emails and texts and phone calls, and nobody supports changing the time. So I have to go with that. Even if it's better for me to meet earlier, I can't vote for that.
All right. Well, then we'll call for a vote. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Kiernan?
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson?
No.
Chairman Hickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Jansen?
No.
Commissioner Fritz?
No.
Very good. Motion is defeated. Is there, so the time, unless there's another motion, the times remain at 6 p.m. Moving on. We have item 9 is our wage study. And we're just following up on that. Care to remind us what we're up to on that?
Well, the leadership committee met to go over the wage study, and ultimately there was 2 options to be decided. And the personnel or leadership committee asked to bring this forward to Commissioner Anderson to see if he could make a recommendation to the board on which option would be implemented.
Regarding that, Sheldon, I certainly have looked at the wage study pretty significant in detail anyway. One was to have a base hourly rate for county employees at $18. And then the other one was 21.
Option 2 is based on the cost of living in county.
Right. Which was what, 21?
Somewhere around $20 an hour.
And then do you know offhand how many employees are paid less than $18 an hour?
Minimal. I would like to say 0. Less than 5 for certain.
Because there was a cost in there, estimated cost, if it set it at 18.
Yeah.
So there was some employees at least starting off less than.
I don't believe.
Okay.
Not anymore. I don't think we have any.
And then the $21 was based on what they viewed as a living wage for Houghton County residents. And then do we know how many employees aren't getting that rate now?
I do not have that figure now.
Okay. So. And then out of the $21 one, how many of those employees that aren't making 21 are unionized or not? That would be a question, because even if we voted to implement option 2, union workers would not, you'd have to negotiate if there was any union employees making less than that, even if we wanted to raise them up to 21. That was my technical question, is do we know if any of those under $21 are union positions? You don't know offhand, do you?
I do not know that offhand.
I think that just takes a little further study. Because even if we decided to go, with the $21 and there was some union contracts less than that, which again, I'm not aware of, but if there were, we'd have to go through the union to implement that change, if that was the case.
Okay, but we are being asked to adopt one of the two procedures here for us to finalize this wage study, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
We need to choose one of the options or deny both to move forward and close out the wage study.
Well, I mean, I'm certainly supporting option two.
Option two.
Why I just, from an implementation standpoint, are there any union employees that we'd have to negotiate with the union separately to get to that level? To implement that. But otherwise, I'll be glad to make a motion that we adopt option two as part of the wage study to get all our employees up to a minimum of $21 an hour. For those the few that aren't there now. And I applaud the Chelsea leadership just to put that out for our discussion, because I think it's important that we have to lead by example as a county. And one of the reasons, that we want to spend our funds that we employ, we pay, we have good benefits and we pay well, for this county. And we have to lead by example for those that work for us, at least on the lower end.
So is there support for, that's your motion?
Yes.
Is there support? Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen to adopt procedure number 2 with the work study, which calls for, do you have that verbiage in front?
I do not have it in front of me, but Commissioner Anderson might have it.
I left it in the car with my water bottle.
We did have that in our communications earlier, so are we okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So a motion is made for adopting option 2 with the wage study. What this does is allows our consultants to work with our administrator to finalize the report.
Support.
Okay, motion made is by Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Good. Item 10 is a jail committee update. The jail committee met today at 4 o'clock. And we have asked for one of our jail committee members to provide that update.
Thank you, Faith Morrison. I'm a member of the jail committee. Our meeting today was from 4 to 5:35, and this meeting started at 6. So as you can imagine, there was no time to digest a precise report. But we did have a very engaging and interesting meeting today. We have been considering actions and recommendations to the board related to getting a sufficient jail for Hogan County, given the condition and difficulties in our current facility. And we had spent time since November looking into the concerns of the public expressed in the terms of a no vote in August, and also in terms of feedback we've been given. And as you know, 3 committees and 1 subcommittee have been at work since November addressing those issues. The issue of whether or not there were county properties that could be sold in order to reduce the need for a tax for a new jail has been addressed through the work of the County Held Properties Committee, and it was not found that there was any property that the board was going to sell. The board was also told that there were concerns with the Sharon Avenue property and tearing down the existing building and what could be done with that. And in the interim period, and through also the work of the Sharon Avenue and Jail Reuse Committee, they had determined that that building could be reused, and there has been engineering work let out, and there is a process of repurposing of that space in response to public input. The third committee is the jail committee. We spent a great deal of time trying to figure out how to modify the design that has been asked for in the August of 2025 village. And we learned a great deal about our real inability to do that kind of redesign for the most part. So we were looking for input from local contractors and firms with a real investment, a real purpose with Polk County. And individual members of the county commission here today were approached by representatives from World Development with the idea that might help us to break the logjam in trying to find a plan that would better represent Houghton County, but at a cost that the taxpayers of Houghton County could agree with. And we heard this, as I said, just a few hours ago. What we learned from that meeting was that it might be possible to do a design build type of a format for creating a new jail, with or without a piece that would be a leaseback sort of an approach. But in any case, this would be using the expertise of a local firm that could, as members of our community, also with vested interest in our community, identify how the jail should be built. And it was presented to us that 90% of such big projects are basically the same types of expertise that they already have, and that whether what you're building is a school or a hospital or the jail, the last 10% needs to be done in cooperation with experts with that kind of building. Compared to the estimates for the cost of building a new jail that we've been working with from our previous consultants, the hope is that a much more economical design could be found because there would not be internal need for all kinds of contracting to various sub-experts that would be needed in the mode of building a new jail that was part of the Von Marsh Vice plan discussed last year. So the committee spent our time today speaking with the representatives from World Development and asking questions about both this design build process and about the funding opportunities, the funding methods that might be open to us, and about whether or not the appropriate transparency with the public would be part of this process, as well as the difference between the process as described and the more familiar process of sending out a construction project out for competitive bids. So it was a very interesting discussion, and under a little bit of time pressure, the committee asked itself what kind of advice could we bring forward to the county board in the next half an hour, which was at 4:30 this afternoon, 5:30 this afternoon, and we did agree on a motion that I will read to you that has passed unanimously by the jail committee, which I'll characterize as our reaction to the amount of information that we were able to receive in such a short amount of time, and our feeling about the value of that recommendation or that presentation. So this motion passed the jail committee this afternoon. It's a motion that the jail committee supports the county board seeking more information on the design/build pathway, information on leaseback arrangements, information on the process for such collaborations, and what steps are appropriate for the county to pursue appropriate due diligence in committing public funds for the jail through these pathways. That's my report from today's meeting.
Thank you. That's the recommendation from the jail committee. There's a lot to be considered in that report. This is fresh. The ink, well, there was never printed, so the ink it didn't need to dry. But the intent is to keep momentum moving on this. I would suggest, and I don't know if this needs to be in the form of a motion, but I would suggest that we put this on, unless there's objections, we would put this report on, or this recommendation on our work session agenda for July. You have a comment, Faith?
Yes, I wanted to also add that in terms of timeline, we discussed at the meeting that, the Royal Development Team is waiting for some, financial information from the county, which will be available in a few weeks. And then they said they would need a few more weeks before preparing a firm piece of paper describing, things that we discussed, today in that meeting. And so there's about a 4-week time on that.
And our next work session would come up on July 1st.
I would just add that maybe we could try to clear that agenda a little bit so that we focus more on jail on that
Good.
as best we can, and maybe have the captain and have the sheriff in attendance so that we can have
Do you
frank,
recall what we have on that agenda so far, Rob?
a frank discussion and have time to do
One
it.
item, maybe two. I don't remember the topics.
Okay, all right.
And then if I may just continue, just maybe my own analysis, if anyone's paying attention to our web or on our online app for the sheriff's department, all spring and early summer, we've been averaging between 26 and 32 inmates. I mean, very robust inmates, and depending on the classification, I don't know, you know, we're only supposed to have 28 or less, some
Yep.
say even 22 on the classification, so we're exceeding our capacity. And of course, the 28 cells have been capped since 1963, you know, so. And when we had the consultant in 2024, they reviewed the current sentencing, current arrests and current classifications, and recommended that currently we should have 51, you know, cells today.
Yes.
So I mean, not including any new growth in the county. And of course, if you look at it from analysis per capita, for a county our size, we have the lowest amount of beds for jail beds in the state. And just look at Dickinson, Delta, Menominee, Chippewa, all smaller counties have anywhere from 80 to 120 beds. You know, Marquette County, being a bigger county, I think they're at 120. They are maxed out. They are looking, and they buy beds in other places in UP. So just, I guess, just again, just to make the pitch that we could use already up to 51 beds, you know, already. And otherwise, you know, we're just can always be near at capacity, and we should have billboards as we come into the county saying maximum inmates 28, all others go back, because, you know, we don't have room for them. And now, of course, it's pushing the capacity to add a couple more, and they add beds. I understand that. Hopefully we can get through on the classification and the women in the jail as well, which is growing. But it's a serious issue, and I just want, since we had such a big audience, I can make my pitch that, you know, we have desperate need for more space, not even related to the safety of the corrections officers or all the other issues that we have going with this. But I'm done.
We will have our financials in 2 weeks. I think you mentioned that, Mr. Chairman, that are we?
That's the plan. That's what the holdup is. And so all focus is on our auditor right now.
Is that a confident 2 weeks, or is that
Good question.
It's out of my control. But
send Chelsea down to Red. What's he out of Rudyard, or is he out of Kinross?
Kinross.
So we'll send Chelsea down to
Have
Kinross.
you been communicating with us any more or less?
His communication, the skills are have caused us some dismay.
So then 2 weeks may not be
May not.
But all we can do is, you know, maybe you could pass his phone number out to the whole board, and we could, you know.
And Anderson Tackman has offices throughout the UP, but apparently, and of course that one in Kinross, but apparently they're fairly autonomous and somewhat independent. So the Iron Mountain office or the Marquette office doesn't necessarily control what the Kinross office does. It's just a little bit frustrating.
So that's the plan. And we're trying to bring whatever assets we have to bear on getting, you know, those numbers passed along so we can have a meaningful discussion on July 1st. And I agree that we should limit the agenda for that work session. Very good. Unless there's anything more, that we'll move on to new business. Thank you again, Faith, for the report. Item 1 under new business is resolution 26-12 to authorize collection of county taxes.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Keranen. Is there further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Keranen?
Yes.
Chairman Tickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 2, we have Kevin Storer from Copper Shores with the updates. This is for the senior meals program. He's not here. Is he online?
Don't get it online unless.
We're moving on. Item 3, Ben Larson, medical facility lot. We already covered that, didn't we?
Yes. We've been closing with Danielle from Q on title. That's what we did. That's what was working with us. Scratching, is that true?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Danielle from Q on title will do the help through the closing first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She got a copy of this split application. Which was the last
Okay, and we've already taken action on that, so we're good. All righty. Item 4, a FOIA appeal, resolution 26-11.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 26-11, rejecting the appeal of the FOIA request that we considered and rejected at the last meeting.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Keranen to adopt resolution 26-12, excuse me, the resolution 26-11. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Keranen?
Yes.
Chairman Tickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson? Yes. Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Item 5 is the Marquette Regional Community Corrections Fiscal Year 2027 OCC funding application. Do you have something for us there?
Yes, so the board previously made a motion last month to join Marquette Regional Community Corrections.
Yes.
At that time, the Community Corrections Advisory Board did not approve the fiscal year 2027 OCC funding application. So they're requiring us to reapprove the application now that they approved it. My understanding is we would need to make a motion to approve the OCC application, a motion to Fulton County join the Marquette Regional Community Corrections, and then another motion to appoint one of the Board of Commissioners to serve on that group.
Yeah, and that comes up on the next item 6, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So first we have to take action on the application.
That's to join the Community Corrections Regional, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll make the motion that we join the Marquette Regional Community Corrections.
Motion made by Commissioner Briggs, supported by Commissioner Jensen. Join the Marquette Regional Community Corrections Group. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, those opposed? Motion carries. And then number 6 is the appointment of how many commissioners do we do? Just one, right?
One.
Who's volunteering?
Well, I have the most background in law enforcement, so I'd be willing to, if you so choose to put me up.
I'll make a motion, we appoint Commissioner Brits.
Motion by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Keranen to appoint Commissioner Brits to the Marquette Regional Community Corrections Board. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you, Commissioner Brits. I'm glad you volunteered before you got appointed anyway.
I knew it was coming.
Okay. Item 7, Tri-County Public Defenders, May 2026 reimbursement request of $68,226.32.
So move.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Keranen to approve the May reimbursement to Tri-County Public Defenders. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And then moving on to item 8, which is the MTA dues, which are due. The dues are due. We have to get those approved right now. So that's $750. Michigan Townships Association.
So moved.
Motion made, oh, is there support? Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen to approve the dues for the MTA of $750. And as part of discussion, we've been a member forever, and it's a good organization. And that's a budgeted item.
Correct.
Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And item 9, this is pertaining to the transfer station. We need a new truck, a big truck, Peterbilt, that's available. Sometimes you end up, and thank you to our facilities manager, Tom Bingham. He was able to locate a truck, which oftentimes you end up having to order and wait months for delivery. And that's a busy facility. Has anyone been there lately?
3 times yesterday. Had to wait a little while.
Yeah, it's amazing, and more increasingly, we are the go-to facility for materials management. There's a unofficial guess, really, is that we're probably handling about 75% of the material for Houghton County.
So Tom is recommending the Peterbilt over the Western Star, and mainly because of availability.
Availability, and also after discussing and reviewing that, he feels that this is a unit that best serves our needs. So,
and then obviously we're getting the automatic, or the, no, I guess that's true. Is it automatic or is it manual?
No, it's a 18-speed manual. And how are you recommending that we proceed on this?
So Tom Bingham, he met with someone and they advised us that they can do a payment plan because this is not currently within our budget and we cannot afford to purchase it in full with this fiscal year's money. So Tom is getting more information on what that payment plan would look like, but it sounds like we can make small payments this fiscal year and then pay off the truck next year when we have it within our budget.
How much would they want this year?
They didn't give us numbers yet.
There are a few additions that have to be put in this truck, so the cost may go up a little. You have to put a larger tank for the hydraulic system to run the trailers and so on. So it's there is a bit of, there will be a bit of an increase, but they have to fit it to our needs.
Currently, we're down to 1 truck.
I was just gonna ask, we don't purchase what are the consequences?
Yeah, really, we have no choice if we're gonna continue to operate the facility.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the purchasing a 2027 Peterbilt 567 from JX Truck Center in Wyoming, Michigan, and for $193,004 with the understanding that there will be some additional charges for hydraulic upgrades.
motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Karen, to authorize purchase of the 2026, is it 2027?
2027.
Peterbilt truck. Further discussion? This is not budgeted, so roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Anderson?
Yes.
Commissioner Karen?
Yes.
Chairman Chittinger?
Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Briggs?
Yes.
Motion carries. Other business, we have communications of Kevena Community Foundation. What's that all about?
They provided a memo about Big Annie. They thanked us for our support.
What did we do for them?
A couple of months ago, we authorized them to designate a week to be considered Big Annie Week.
Very good. We don't need to take any action on that.
No.
Item M is travel. If we need to authorize travel from front of the court for Drew Baseman and also for Jacob Chair from Equalization.
So move on both of them.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Anderson, supported by Commissioner Jensen to approve the travel request from front of the court and Equalization. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Appropriations, you have Copper Country Community Mental Health appropriation of $27,415.82. What is your wish?
Motion to approve it.
Support again.
Motion made by Commissioner Britt, supported by Commissioner Jensen to approve the Copper Country Community Mental Health appropriation of $27,415.82. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? The motion carries. Public comments, we have open public comments.
Hey, guys. I was gonna say something, leave this up, originally we were on the agenda, we have the RFP for cybersecurity services today. Some of the projects that I've been working on for the last month are actually in the room with me today. As you guys navigate through the proposals that passed your way earlier today, I'd like to consider the incredible IT and cybersecurity offerings of Superior Wizards. Today I've got John Woodron, I've got Travis Banks, I've got Dave Sprague, the other name on our list, the real time here today yet for commitments otherwise, but if the county were to go forward with the proposal from Security Wizards as a comprehensive IT and cybersecurity offering, we would have access to each one of these fine fellows and a couple of folks that we're working on several fine details. But they have taken the time to write very nicely, very briefly about themselves, but I think one of the adding factors folks is that they lived for quite some time now. Most of them have spouses or house and I don't think they're going anywhere. So unlike perhaps previous changes that I would have experienced, I don't think you guys are going anywhere.
Thank you. Other public comments?
Travis again, resident. Just want to say thank you to the board for maintaining current time. I feel that I want to add to that I empathize with the safety issues that come with driving around at 8, 9 p.m. in the middle where you see approximately 8 hours of sunshine per day at a time. And I just wanted also to point out that when it does get dark and our roads do get unsafe in the evenings, when you are doing various things going, maybe just people physically on like that. The accessibility and the time is still relevant. Online access. So even in those moments when travel is hard, having those times available for us in the evening to attend, even if it is on Zoom, is still relevant to the workday. So I just wanted to add that again and say thank you. Open and connect as well as possible.
I'm Joan Chatty again, and I appreciate Gretchen Jansen bringing up the data centers. I really am concerned about those. When you read about those, like the one down in Salem Township, this huge center coming in, it's going to completely change the way of life, completely change the small town. The same is true of, just reading today again, Lowell Township versus where Grand Rapids is. All these people are turning out against it, but they have no power because, you can say, you don't want them to come in, and then, as a company, they can take it to court and, empty your pockets. And I probably something that needs to move up to the state level that will give county commissioners more power to manage what happens in their counties. And I did talk to the Schoolcraft Township supervisor today. I mean, he said he's concerned about it. And that he's got to look to hold county commissioners to be lazy because we don't already have a land use plan, you can't start and passing ordinances. So I hope you'll address this issue. And how would we do it here? We have to be preventive. Once it comes, it's too late. So we have to think ahead.
I think a lot of that's going to have to happen at the township level. And one comment I just want to make is unfortunately at the state level, they're all about it.
Yeah, so we kind of saw that demonstrated, didn't we?
Yeah, so something that we need to.
Okay, thank you.
Public comments?
My name is Karen Tiverton. I'm from the Chatsworth area. Last month's commissioner meeting, several topics of discussion were brought forth to the public. COVID, one of treasuring the elderly and incapacitated. The other was concern for aging parents. Each of the commissioners have over that was given to them at the beginning of the meeting, and MCL 201 is listed in there as public health code and describes the patients and residents in long-term care facilities. The next item is the National Consumer Voice published June 2021, which describes the situations that nursing home residents, their families, and staff face in long-term care facilities. And number 3, the Michigan Chief Medical Executive Standing Recommendation, number 2025-01, from the Director of MPHHS, Elizabeth Bertel, published September 17th, 2025, regarding the COVID-19 injections. If this was rescinded, I do not know, but the document consisted of fact sheets in relation to insert packaging for the COVID injections, which have gained a lot of attention in the public and out our country's capital. The fact sheet contains the company name and information research on this document. At the March 2026 Health Department meeting, which is also open to the public was encouraged to do their own research on this very topic. Number 4 in the packet was a consumer voice for quality long-term care entitled Get Ready to Vote. We will all need a caregiver at some point in our lives. We just don't know when. How do you want to be treated? Under the Medical Workers Certification Over of 1987 Act, medical workers are required to honor the rights of their patients and residents and not to isolate them. March 2020, data began to be collected as to what was going on in the nursing homes under protocols and not laws. Thus, Consumer Voice published the June 2021 statement, which states the realities of what was going on. How long is too long to be separated from your family member? 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, maybe over 400 days? Who makes those decisions and based on what laws? Going into a long-term care facility does not mean you'll lose your American citizen rights, your voting rights, and U.S. constitutional rights, and Michigan constitutional rights. Families aren't essentially providing necessary care to their loved ones, even in times of emergency, such as feeding their family in long-term care facilities, helping in basic hygiene, and showing emotional support, hugs, and laughter. I too also treasure the elderly. Thank you for your time.
Hello again, Lexi Theater, Hancock resident. I just wanted to echo Joan's appreciation of the data center concern that Commissioner Jansen brought up. And I wanted to make the board aware, or I guess, that I want to make the board aware that counties can like pass moratoriums. And I know that there's a lot of nuance with that. Especially because of the master planning and things like that. But I think that we can work together to moratorium in countywide, so that this gives communities and townships time to plan and update their master plans or zoning ordinances. Because if you don't have a moratorium and it has says, you know, we're going to develop tomorrow and it doesn't go to the commissioner or it doesn't go to the governance, but it goes through a chamber of commerce or something like that. You know, we don't have the authority, and we've seen that in Saline Township, where the data center company came in and didn't, like, no one knew that that was happening until it happened, and now the development started. So I'm with the Northern Michigan Alliance for Responsible Development. I created a hub with that in the Western UP where we're trying to proactively fight data centers, and yeah, we just ask that we can all work together to fight our community, our land, our people, our health, and yeah. Thank you.
Public comments, other public comments. Public comments, are there any on the online, Alex?
No hands up.
Sorry.
Since I'm here anyways, it seems like there were some items added to the agenda that weren't on our agenda and also some items skipped.
Were you here for the whole meeting?
No, I came in late. I just
Well,
asked somebody if I missed that. Did I not?
You got here late. Those were added when the agenda was adopted.
Okay, I apologize. Someone just told me that they weren't, so it's fine, you know.
Get here on time now.
Yeah.
All right. Other public comments? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion made and by Commissioner Kiernan, supported by Commissioner Anderson. All those in favor, get up and leave, I guess. Yeah.